I'm gonna do another live today. So let me know if you're on. Say what's up. Nope, that's an old one. All right, I'm gonna be manning the board today. I've got two sprinkler guys out. One of them's doing all the commercial stuff. He's got 3 jobs. One of them is gonna be an hourly type of trenching type of job. So hopefully he goes and fixes 2 quick ones, and then he can go to the third one and stay there all day and then work tomorrow, which is Sunday too, if he needs to. I won't be manning the board for that. I'll come in like I always do, check in on this and that, and then head out and just leave him alone. We don't usually talk on Sundays, me and that guy. So I got a Sunday guy who works and just does commercial stuff. He comes in on Friday and Saturday, and he's great, because these commercial accounts that we have are like big revenue. So there's high expectations with those customers, and so just having somebody dedicated to just go through each one at a time, like for example, if we didn't have, so we have pretty much 3 problems that we know of at 3 different commercial places, and so 2 of them, one of them's a valve replacement. I'm not quite sure what the second one is. Probably a valve issue. And then the third one, it requires some trenching because it looks like a pipe is either busted, and it's poly pipe, so we have no clue where it is, or it got kinked and we don't know where it is. So he's gonna have to trench to find it. It's like 10 feet. So anyway, normally if we didn't have these issues, he would just go through. I would route all of the commercials, which I think there's probably 30-ish. So I'd route all 30, put them in order, and then break it up into like 5 a day, right? So I'd give them 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, move another 5 to the next Saturday, to the next Sunday, and then move the last 10 on the third week. So every week he comes in, he can kind of go one at a time. And so what he does at every stop is he'll turn on the stations. Well, first of all, he'll look to see if there's any problems. If there's a problem, like a dead spot, that's will be his focus, and he'll figure it out. The funny thing is, these commercial accounts, they don't pay us to go check, but we always find stuff, right? It's like if I send him to those, let's say I gave him 5 jobs and there was no issues that we know of, he'd go to the first one, find a dry spot, look into it. They might need a valve replacement, so he'll give them a quote, and they'll accept it because they always do. And then we fix it, and then their grass will look better. So I'm not saying that's the case every single job, every time. So sometimes he'll go to a place and it looks good, and there's nothing to do. He will, he'll go through the zones, and if everything's going good, he will just go to the next one, and we don't charge anything. But at least we're looking. All right, I've got somebody. It seems like, I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna go to this channel. This person that's. Oh, looks like it's a Swifty. All right, so let's see. Bye, Swifty. It was nice of you to stop by. See ya. All right. This will be hidden. So, um, so basically, what happened a couple years ago was we had this nice commercial account that was doing, doing great for us, and we were doing great for them. And there was a time, probably around this time of the year, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but there was a lot of problems, right? To where like some of the people in charge, regional managers type people, were calling saying, "Hey, what the heck? You guys are letting it go," and we're just like, "Yeah, well, you know, we're not getting paid to go check these things, you know?" And they're like, "That's true, but could you let us know when your mow guys are there, or your garden guys are there, or the fertilizer guys there? Can you and that's a good way, but I don't know. We were feeling the pressure. I was feeling the pressure because I didn't want them to leave. You know what I mean? So that's when I thought, all right, who can I have check all these properties all the time? And then it kind of dawned on me. I had a couple applicants that were like, you know, they can work weekends, but they know everything, and I've turned them down. So I reached back out to one of them, and I was like, "Hey, man, I got an opportunity here for you. This could be great." And so I told him about it. I go, "On the weekends, you're going to come and check all of my commercial properties, and you're going to just check them, and I'm going to pay you every day, every Saturday and Sunday." And it's been wonderful. They've never been happier. What's up, Big R? Keep Hair, what's up? I got this camera right where the comments are. Let me see if I can move them. Damn it. Boom. That's too big. All right, there we go. I can work with that. So yeah, that's what's going on. And then today, that guy, he's out going out checking all the the three jobs that I gave him, and then I've got a mow guy doing a first time mow and a service call mow, a job that this is a great well, it would be anybody. It could be anybody, but this particular service call is a great customer. Like they're known for tipping our workers a lot, and they're not happy. They haven't been happy because it hardly ever rains out here in the daytime. It's pretty rare. But the last month, it's been raining like twice a week, and in the middle of the weeks, it's really weird. It stopped doing that about 2 weeks ago, but before that, it was raining a lot, and it seemed like every time we went to this customer's house, it was raining, and so it looks bad. Um, we're not used to mowing in the rain. I know some of you guys probably are. I'm not. So, um, you know, anyway, we're gonna try to stop mowing in the rain now, just because we don't want any bad complaints, and it's probably better if we just say, you know what. So what we've been doing is we've been saying, hey, come in at 9, guys, and then around 8:30 we'll say, hey, check back at 10, and then we'll say, hey guys, check back at 11, and then that's probably, we haven't called it for the whole day yet, but that's kind of what we've been doing because it rarely rains all day. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that guy's mowing, and then I've got another sprinkler tech doing some big repairs, or at least going to check them out. And I'm kind of the in between with this customer because this sprinkler tech is a Spanish speaker only. Again, it's like my weekend stuff, my weekend warriors. Like they work Saturday and Sunday. So I tell my customers, if you want somebody out there on a Saturday or Sunday, I can send somebody, but I'm gonna have to be your kind of translator, and that's kind of what I'm doing today. but normally I don't talk to customers with these jobs. I'll send this other sprinkler tech to do like these big jobs, you know, like a stop and waste or some kind of like commercial drain. So he did a commercial drain last week, and also a stop and waste the week before. So typically I give them jobs that I know the customer like doesn't care who does it, just fix it, you know what I mean? And so I'll send these guys so they don't have to talk to the customers. But a lot of jobs have been coming in, so I've been telling customers, hey, I've got this other option. If you don't want to wait 2 weeks or a week and a half, I have a commercial guy that I could send this weekend, but I'll have to communicate with you. And if you need to call me, you just got to call me and talk to me. But I can do that if you want. So that's kind of what we've been doing. And I've kind of come to the realization that the sprinkler manager has to always be aware of the board. I'm not saying I need to be staring at it like I am now. By the way, I wish you could see my setup here. I got a pretty nice, pretty sweet setup. Let's see. How can I do this? I figure like this. Maybe you could see I've got like my laptop here. I've got my bigger screen up top. And there's the camera. So, anyway. So where's everybody from? Does it rain a lot over there, or what's going on? So it looks like my tech arrived. And so it's quite possible I'm going to have to deal with text messages while I'm talking with you guys. But you know what? I'm tired of the excuses of me not posting, you know? Like, I'm busy, sure, but I can still post. So that's what I'm doing. So this is my second in a week, and I'll see who's still showing up to these lives. Roy, Mike, who else showed up last week? Yeah, I can't remember who else. But still trying to get rid of all these spam stuff. Man, are you sick of all the scammers and spam? Sick of it. It's crazy. You know? Like every other phone call is like a scam. You know, I don't know if I told you, but I got scammed last winter. It was over $5,000. It was like 5,500 or something like that. Sometimes I feel like I need to hire someone for the spam. Yes. What's up, Lawnscapes? So here's what happened. Here's how I got scammed. So, you know, I did some work in the back, right? So like when I moved into this shop, the back was empty, right? So I put this big commercial tent in there, and I hired an electric company, so I did it legit. Only thing is I didn't tell the city or anything like that. I don't know if I was supposed to. I still don't know if I'm supposed to or not. But I did it, and I hired an electric company, and they never I told them, hey, if you need to get code or permission, you guys tell me what to do. I'll do it. I don't know. I just need power in the back. And so they said, yeah, no, it's no problem. So they did it. And they got power into the back. So I've been operating back there for, I guess, 4 years. You know, not like nothing normal. And then I get this call from a freaking, what sounded like the power company, okay? And they basically left a message and said call back because there's kind of a situation where we never paid a deposit for the extra power. It's been a long time since this happened. It's been a year now. And I've had time to think about it, right? And I don't think they actually scoped me out in any way. I don't think they got information and used it against me. I think they literally just have this script, and it just, some people it hooks and some people it doesn't. And for me, it hooked me. Basically, they said, we never got a deposit for the electrical work that you did, so you need to pay that, or we're gonna shut your power off. And I said, well, for how long are you gonna shut my power off? And they said, it'll be shut off for probably a week if we do shut it off this way. So I was like, oh, damn it. She said, but if you come to one of our centers and pay it today, you'll be fine. And I was like, oh, I'll go to their shop. I didn't know where Rocky Mountain Power was, is what I thought, right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I never been there, so I'll go there and I'll pay the bill. But I should have known, but they said go to Walmart and pay it there through, I'm like, what the hell? Walmart? They go, yeah, you just go to the counter, go to the layaway counter and just tell them it's for Rocky Mountain Power, give them this number and pay it. So, fuck. So I went and did it. It was like, I don't know, $800 or some crazy thing like that. And I did it. And then they called me and said, the person that told you the price was wrong is actually this. And I was like, are you kidding me? They're like, no, but I've already contacted the shut-off technician, so you're not going to have to worry about it. But I do need a payment today. Otherwise, it'll get shut off tomorrow. And I'm like, God damn it. So I had to pay like another $800. So right there, I'm out $1,600. And then I get a call back as I'm walking to my truck. Like, hey, anyway, they suckered me into going back 2 more times. Okay? And then they actually tried it 1 more time. And that's when I said, I don't care if you shut my power off. I don't care. I'm not going to pay any more. By then I was already in $5,500. Yes, it's embarrassing and I feel stupid still. But they got me. Like, I know I'm telling it stupid because I know the truth. I know it was a scam. But when they were doing it, it sounded so real. Every time I called, it sounded like I was calling the power company. It would do the voice message and everything. And then somebody would answer who doesn't know, sounds like they don't know much and they're entry level. And then they transfer me to somebody, and then that person sounds smarter, and then they transfer me to somebody who sounds the smartest. You know what I'm saying? And they did that every time I called. So it sounded legit. You know what I mean? And anyway, I got suckered $5,500. And I didn't even know I was scammed yet. I still didn't even know. I was like, I just went home and just went about my day like normal. And then the next morning around 5, it was probably 5 a.m. Rachel, my general manager, calls me at 5 in the morning. Which I know she's up at 5. Me and her are we're early birds. We're usually at the gym. We don't go to the same gym, but she goes running early in the morning. I go to the gym. So I know if I ever need anything, I could text her and she'll answer me, and she does the same thing. But she never calls me at 5 in the morning. So I was like, hey, this is weird. What's going on? And she said, did you pay this random thing? And I said, yeah. She said, that's a scam. I said, what? No, it was a power company. She's like, no, it was you got scammed. And she said, I'm going to text you some information, and you got scammed. And I was like, oh, damn it. I still didn't believe it. I was still like, nah, man, I paid Rocky Mountain Power. I didn't get scammed. So she sends me this Google thing of the scam of people calling saying they're going to turn off your power unless you pay this. And they always give you the wrong amount, so you have to go back and pay more. And when I read that, my heart went boom, like it dropped. I was like, holy shit, I got scammed. Um, so of course I tried calling the number that I called all day yesterday, and it was disconnected. It was freaking disconnected. I was like, oh my gosh, I got scammed. And it was during winter, okay? So this was, I don't remember what month, I think it was January, but it was like where you have your winter fund, right? So I had my winter fund. In order to pay this, I used some of my winter fund. And $5,000 taken out of your winter fund when you're supposed to like budget for payroll is a lot, right? You know, I'm like, damn it. So of course I call the police, and there's nothing anybody could do because I entered in authorization at Walmart. So Lawnscapes, as soon as you said Walmart, as soon as you said you went to Walmart, you know it was a scam. I know. So anyway, I got scammed, and whatever. I was humiliated. I felt stupid. I still feel stupid telling everybody. But I did it, and it's over with. So guess what? This year, this just probably 3 weeks ago, I get a call from somebody saying, "Hey, did you get the shut off? Did you get the shut off letter yet?" And I go, "Shut off to what?" And he's like, "To the power." And I said, "F you!" Click. But I said the real thing, and I yelled it because I'm not getting scammed like that again. So lessons learned. Sorry, I got to keep checking this thing in case I get a text. So the big lesson takeaway is when somebody says that you're late, they're going to shut off something, you have to do your own research and find the number, the official phone number to the place, and call and find out if that's really happening. So what I did was I just used the number they gave me and called it back, and it sounded legit, so they had me. So anyway, just know, always look for the real official number. Freaking scammers, you know? Evil people. Evil. They should really go to hell. I hate scammers. Anyway, but that was a couple years ago. I don't, haven't been scammed yet this year. Knock on wood. What else is going on? So, one of the things I've been working with lately, dealing with, is the credit card usage of the workers, right? So we get gas here. Like we get gas, we put it here, and we try and fill up the trucks, but we don't have like 1,000-gallon gas tank. We just have a 300-gallon gas tank, and that really only it doesn't fill up. It only fills up like a third of our trucks, not to mention any equipment stuff. So really, if you think about it, it only fills up like maybe 8 trucks out of 24. So everybody has to have a gas card. You know what I mean? In our new design for the shop, for the yard, we are implementing, we're going to try to implement a gas pump with at least 1,000-gallon tank. I haven't looked at those options. I just got approved from the gas place that delivers that they can deliver here, but they didn't give us any more information about what tanks to get. I have to get that at another place, but I wanted to at least know that I will eventually be able, like the trucks could deliver if we had to, and they can. So at some point we'll get a big enough gas tank that we can fill up. Like nobody that only gets gas will have a credit card, which is almost everybody except for my head landscaper who buys materials, which he doesn't even really need a card, because all the places he buys materials, we have a card on file. But sometimes he's in a weird place, and so he'll stop at a store or stop at a weird random place or a store to buy tools for a certain job that they're doing. So he's always got to have one. And then all my sprinkler guys, they need one so that if they need random parts, I try to stock as much as I can. My biggest pet peeve with those guys is when they call me and say they've got to go to the store and buy parts. And I'm like, dude, you should have that in your truck. And they're like, yeah, I know, but I used it and I don't have any more. I'm just like, oh my gosh. True legit reason, but I don't buy it all the time. You know what I mean? They just used it one time and never stocked it back up. So they need a credit card. So basically, between all the workers using the card, they all had the same credit card, all of them. And if they all got gas the same day and bought parts and materials and whatever, dude, it's so hard to keep up with that card. There are times where freaking $10,000 gets charged out of it, and it's just like, damn it, that's too much. But that's what it is with all all the services we do and the gas and everything. 10,000 is kind of stretching. There have been a time that we probably spend that much, but normally it's probably on average 2,000 a day. And that's a lot of money to manage for one card, and then you got somebody going, hey, I'm here at the automotive place and I can't buy tires, the card declined. I'm like, damn it. So what I did was I gave every division their own cards, right? So like I gave the mowing a Capital One Classic card. I gave the sprinkler division a Capital One, I don't know what it's called, but the garden one is gold, the sprinkler one is green, and the mow guys all have a gray card from Chase. And I personally use a different Chase card that only I have. No other manager uses it. Nobody uses it. And I pay all the bills with that, right? So like the phone bill, any new equipment, I use that card. So this is the first week. Wednesday, I gave everybody their new cards. And so this is my first week doing it. And we had a tough few days this week because we had a rain day. Wait, no, it was a holiday. It wasn't a rain day. A holiday for me is pretty much, it feels like still like bad, like a rain day, because we can't really give it our all and go out there and work as much as we can. We got to stop as early as possible so people can use their yards or they're not home. Sprinkler customers are never there for a holiday. They do not want to wait around for your call on a holiday. So for sprinklers, that day, every holiday, the sprinklers guys just stay home. They don't even bother. There have been times where I did ask a customer, like, hey, I know you say you're desperate, but the only available day I might have is a holiday. Is this holiday coming up? Do you want me to book it then? And they're like, oh, no, you're right. Or some people are like, yeah, do it. And then they'll text me later, never mind, can you cancel that? I have plans. So we just don't work sprinklers on a holiday. I'm gonna go check the mail, guys. You gotta come with me. By the way, now you guys can see my setup, the way I've got it set up. Here's my board where I'm trying to put all the workers and then their quality stuff. I give them an X if they're not doing great. Am I the best at giving them an X? No. But I also did it for the managers to do it, not just me. Okay, let's see here. Any checks? Come on, big checks. Nope, I got a bill. And magazines. Do you guys get magazines? Get landscape management, and then I put them over here. Well, I'm getting my first call, and it's from my sprinkler guy. So here we go. Hey, ¿qué pasó?
Ya le encontré la mail, estaba cerrada.
Ok, ¿y lo aprendiste?
Sí, ahorita estoy prendiendo, nomás estoy esperando. Le saqué el agua, voy a ver si sigue llorando agua, va a ser el stop and go.
Oh, man, ¿serio?
Sí, pero es muy poco, o sea, no es mucho, es cualquier cosita. Porque no sale a presión, es nomás como un liqueado pequeño, pero pues todos hay que abrir. En caso de que él quiera, a ver cuánto, voy a esperar los 10 minutos, a ver cuánta agua sube.
Ok.
Porque está igual la caja como en la otra propiedad. Está el stop and go cerca de la caja, está como a medio pie.
Oh, ¿en serio?
Sí, es igual que la otra.
Ok.
Déjame ver, 10 minutos y te llamo.
Ok, gracias.
Okay.
So he's at a job, and it could be a stop and waste, which, could be a big job, but I know the customer's not going to be happy. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he can figure it out. Hopefully it's something that can be figured out. He said he needs about 10 minutes to check it all out. And he also said that this stop and waste is basically right underneath a box, a sprinkler box. So if he does have to repair the stop and waste, he's going to have to replace the valve manifold too, which will be an extra, $1,000 or something. So not going to be a happy phone call that I've got to make if that's the case. But that's what sprinklers is, right? Man, that's what it is, dude. Setting the customer with expectations. Right now, I don't want to worry the customer and say that to him, so I'm just going to wait a second, hear back from my sprinkler guy to make sure that that's not going to be the issue. It makes sense now that he says that. It makes sense based on what I know about the customer and, the property and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, guess what I'm doing? I put an ad out there for a filmer editor so that I could try and do videos again. I can't do them on my own. It's just, I can't do it. There's no way. So I'm trying to hire somebody that would be willing to basically follow any one of my Mo guys, or any guy, any worker, and me, and make a video. And hopefully they can do videos pretty often. But that's what we're going to try and do. I don't know if it's, I'm just trying to do something, because I can do these lives pretty regularly. But, I'd like to do some videos, So let's see. Like a D-Rock or Gary V had. Possibly. I don't know who D-Rock is, though. I like the setup video you did back in the day. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I like doing those things, but there's just no way for me to film it and do it. I just can't. I want to, though, but I know I'm just kidding myself. It's never going to happen. But if I hire somebody to do it, I will. And every time I did have pretty consistent videos, it has been from somebody following me around with a camera or doing editing and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, how many people are out there working on Saturday today? Yeah, probably not too many people. You know, I'm just crazy, right? I just work too much, don't I? I feel like I do. Um, but there's always something to do. You know what I mean? Like right now, I have this morning. I had to schedule a bunch of sprinkler work for a tech for the month. So we have customers that pay monthly for us to check their whole system, and they don't want to worry about their sprinklers. Um, Mainly, they do that so they have a green lawn. You know what I mean? So there's like no excuse why they don't have a green lawn. And so those jobs I try to give to somebody who's a good sprinkler guy, who can fix valves, who can fix pipes, and to do the adjustments, because sometimes when they're on property, they'll do an adjustment and then they'll notice like a broken pipe. And then they need to know how to fix it. So if you send a tech that just does adjustments, because the world works the way it works, every job they get to, something's going to be broke, and then they're not going to fix it. So, so I've got this really good tech. He's really good, but he's not really good at selling. So I'm going to have him do all the turn-ons, or the premium adjustments, and I think that's going to be really good. So I'm going to start that next week. The only problem is, like, we don't have enough work every day to keep him busy. We have like 2 days a week that like half the days are busy with these. So there's not a lot, you know. So what I'm going to try to do is book these, what, you know, they're already booked. I don't know why I got him there. Has anybody ever used Service Titan? Man, there's a lot of good stuff about Service Titan, but there's a lot of like annoying and hard to learn stuff with Titan too. So I don't know. But that's what I use. It'd be awesome if somebody knew how to use it and we're like, yeah, let's have a video chat every Monday and go over it. Dude, that would be amazing. But I know not a lot of people use that software unless you're like an HVAC. I just went nuts when I got this program. I got it because of the sprinkler inventory, you know. I am glad I got it though. It is a good software, but it's like $250 a tech. Actually more, probably like $275 a tech, and that's how they charge you per tech with a minimum. And my minimum is 3, so I have to have. I have to pay for 3 techs whether it's winter time or not. You know, like you're in a contract with this company, and each contract, every contract for me renews, I think in December, and you have to do like a 30-day. You have to give them notice of 30 days whenever you want to like cancel something or something like that. They do work with you though. Like, you know, I tried to cancel one year because I was just like, dude, this is too much. This is too much. And they worked with me and didn't make me pay too much in the wintertime. And then it started back up in the summer or whatever, the spring. And that worked to help me out that one year. And then last year I had a big problem with them. I had a marketing feature that was an extra $800 a month. And that was so stupid of me to get. Anyway, I did it for a year, didn't use it. I didn't use it, and I had to pay $800 extra a month for that. All right, here we go. We got Margarito, my sprinkler tech. See, bro.
Listo, no sube más, es muy poco lo que liquea, pero
Okay.
explícale que es porque la pipa del stop and way está muy cerca de las cajas de válvulas.
Okay.
Cuando abres un stop and way tiene que descargar.
Yeah.
Pero si sigue subiendo y la pipa, lo que le queda a la pipa le pasa a las válvulas.
Pero,
Si
pero
sigue,
¿quién lo abrió? Nadie lo abrió. Él dijo que nadie lo abrió.
sí, pero entonces necesitamos ver. Ahorita ya lo abrí y no corre agua, no sube.
Eso es bueno. Eso es
Ahorita
bueno.
está silencio.
Ok, y sacaste toda la agua.
Sí, saqué el agua, pero nomás entró poquita agua, pero como, ¿qué será? Una pulgada en la caja.
Ok, y
No
después,
sube ahorita.
¿está trabajando el controller?
Ya lo trabajé, ahorita lo puedo trabajar todo en delante de él.
¿Y tú puedes poner todas las horas y todo?
Claro que sí.
Ok, bueno, yo pienso que ya estamos entonces, ¿no?
Entonces le programo el reloj, le programo las estaciones.
Sí.
Y si hay quebradas, se las arreglo. Ahorita ya salió una fuga.
Bueno, yo le hablo con eso, pero por ahora nomás quiero saber si algo estaba roto la agua. So yo le voy a
Sí,
hablar.
lo que le puedes decir es de que el agua subió poco, pero que si sigue y
Yeah.
más para arriba, entonces es el stop and way, hay que abrirlo.
Ok, yo le
Y
digo.
retirar las válvulas del stop and way.
Yo le digo.
Son 3 válvulas,
Ok,
Al estimado, son 3 válvulas y el stop and way recorrerlo.
ok,
Sí,
quédate ahí y yo te llamo.
Perfecto.
Ok, gracias. Bye.
Bueno.
All right, so now I got some more information. I've got to call this customer. Let me see. All right. So I use a system to call these customers so that the techs use the same system. So if a tech had to call a customer, they would click the phone number on the app.
Press 1 to connect your call. Otherwise, please hang up.
And then you do that. And when we do that, it records the phone call. Hey, Steve. Hey, how are you? Okay, good. So, couple things. So he was able to drain that out and then turn on the stop and waste. I don't know if it was on before or what, but he said he was able to turn it on and drain out the box. A little bit of water went back in. The reason why, if he thinks it's flooded with water, is because the stop and waste is actually like pretty close to that area. So when it drains, it just kind of went in there, you know, like it drained to the top. It might be hard for me to explain that, but so anyway, he turned it on and then he sucked the water out of the box. He said there's still some water going in, but we don't know if it's like a problem or it's just draining. You know what I mean? So you may have to like leave it and see how it looks in like a day or two. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it could be nothing. It could just be draining, and there's just residual drainage from the yard, from however, from that. Or it could be a leak. Like it could be a stop and waste. The problem with that stop and waste is if it does need to be replaced, whoever does it will probably also need to replace the valve boxes because they're so close. Do you know what I mean? To dig a hole big enough to get down there, that valve box will need to be replaced as well. Yeah. It's pretty close to it. Yeah, it's probably, we have a picture on file where it is, and it's about, my guess, a foot or two from the box where you put the key down that pipe, Yeah, you do. Yeah. Everybody has it. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would say that, but you do have a backflow that also needs to be on most properties. Um, and so yeah. Anyway, so what I need from you now is like what we did was a $79 diagnostic, right? And so we checked it and did that, and you'll just have to keep an eye on it because we don't know if it's broken unless we dig it down. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's on now, and he's going to program the timer for you. I don't know if you'd wanted to do that or you want him to do it, but he can do that for you. Um, but that's it. If you want us to do an adjustment, I can quote you on an adjustment. Did you want that or no? Where, where they go, he goes through every zone one at a time, checking for any nozzles, heads that need to be adjusted. Okay, so let me see if I can. Oh, the backflow? No, he didn't say anything, but he said that he was able to turn on the stations. So that means that it is on. He didn't tell me that, but he said that he was able to get the timer communicates with the valves now. So that means the backflow is open. Yeah. Yeah, so he said right now there's probably like he said so I don't know, do you know how many zones you have? I can ask my guy. Okay, so that'd be like a 5 through 8 zone. It'd be 330 plus parts. But like I said, he'll go through everything. That doesn't cover any broken, pipes, but he'll let you know hopefully before he starts the adjustment if he finds any big problems like that. All right? You see a broken pipe? Oh, okay. All right, so $330 plus parts, and I'll have him start that now. And so we won't be charging for the diagnostic fee then. So just be a 330 plus parts. All right. Thanks, Steve. All right. Yep, bye. All right, there you go. So normally a sprinkler guy would do all that, but I'm doing what I'm working with what I got here. Okay, Siri, call Margarito.
Calling Margarito Duran Mobile.
Let's see. Ok, bro. So él quiere un ajusto a todo el sistema. Chequeando todo, cambiando todo lo que necesita. Y las partes tenés que decirme para ponerlo en el invoice. Sí. Ok, pero él dice que tiene 6 zonas. ¿Tú piensas que eso es verdad? Ok, ok. Bueno, haga full adjustment. Gracias. Okay, bye. All right, let's see here. The weird thing is, I feel like we're still not out of the woods. There's a chance his stopping waist is broke, and that won't be good. It'd be okay for us if he accepts us to fix it, but I kind of have a feeling I don't like giving customers bad news like that. You know what I mean? Especially customers that are already our customers and we take care of them. It's just a lot of money because stop and waste is $1,900 to replace, and if we've got to change a 3-valve manifold, take it out so he can get down there, he's looking at another $1,000. So $2,900 if that's something he needs. I don't like that. So, but it is what it is. That's our price. So if he accepts it, if that's what happened, if he needs that, we're gonna have to fix that. My guy says if there, he goes, there's a chance there's just residual water, so it might not be anything. But if there is a leak, he said it's really small. Otherwise, that box would be flooding a lot faster. So I don't know if that's comforting or not. It's just hard to tell. We can't tell if there's any cracks in there because it was basically filling up with water the whole time. So yeah. Anyway, I got some comments here. I never was able to read it. Is there a school near you that offers their students? Maybe you can get something from the school. Maybe. I don't know. I've been getting some applicants though. I'm sure someone studying photography media might be able to. Too bad you couldn't offer incentives to your text to video. Yeah, I know. I just know how it is. Like my guys, dude, I had one of my guys come in today to talk to me. I wanted to talk to Margarito about the 3 jobs that he's got on his list. And it was like he was so impatient. He was like, dude, I gotta go to the first job. So it's like, all right, man. So they're never gonna like do videos. You know what I mean? Like it's just not happening. And I don't blame them either. I actually don't want them to do that. I'd rather them just get the jobs done. That's my problem though, right? It's like I'm always more worried about doing work rather than making my videos, man. I don't know. I want to do them though. So that's why I'm trying to hire somebody. I have had candidates. So I've been like saving the ones that I think are good. It's a good applicant. Basically, I'm looking for somebody that's young, you know, kind of like almost like their first job type of situation. So, you know, they don't have many bills because I'm not trying to pay a ton of money for this. I have paid a bunch of money. The people that are expecting a lot of money, like they've got so much going on. The media people, they have their own media stuff going on. They take on other customers, and it's like you're not the focus, and I don't want that anymore. Actually, I've only had that one time, I think. Who that person? It was like the most I've ever paid a videographer person. And I feel like that was the going rate when I said to myself that year, I'm gonna pay this much. I can't even remember what it was, but it's probably $1,000 a week. I was gonna pay this much. So that's the kind of candidate I'm looking for. And pretty much everybody that was coming in that had the experience, had their own equipment, had the software to edit, that was pretty much what they were wanting, if not more. And then I worked with this person who I feel was like a really good representation of what most media freelancers are gonna be like. Because she really was focused on this, but she also had other customers. I mean, she's trying to make more money. I can't blame her. I can't blame her for wanting to make more money, but she wouldn't, and she didn't really go out. I need somebody to go out and like doesn't need to be told. They just gonna go find a sprinkler guy or a mow guy or a fertilizer guy or a garden landscaper, garden maintenance guy, or a manager or a phone person, and they're just gonna film a story. And they're gonna do that every day. That's what I want. Okay. Call me back. I had another question. I gotta call this customer back.
Press 1 to connect your call. Otherwise, connecting you.
Sorry, guys. Hey, Steve. Okay. The stop and waste? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, not if everything's okay. If there's a leak and the stop and waste needs to be replaced, like dig down there and replace it, we as a company, because it's so close, we would have to put that in the job scope that we got to take it out and put it back when we fix it. If there was a problem, I don't know that there is, you know. Yeah, there's no way of knowing right now because it was already kind of, we don't know if it was like half opened or what the problem was, but water was coming out from the drain. Were thinking, okay? And so if that was been happening this whole spring or whatever, it's possible that there's a lot of water residual somewhere, between the top of the lawn and the bottom, you know what I mean? So it could just be filling up because of that. Yeah, yeah, yes. So that's why I need you in a couple of weeks, days, weeks, to kind of look in there again, see how it's looking, hmm Yeah, there's probably, yeah. Yep. hmm Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna give you kind of a ballpark, and I hope nothing's wrong. And okay, so here's what the sprinkler guy said. He said if there is a leak, which he's not sure, because again, there's water there and already there, and so we don't know. If there is a leak, it's a small leak, because otherwise it would be filling up a lot faster. Not that that's a good thing. If there's a leak on a stop and waste, I mean, you really should fix it. I'm just kind of giving you what he was saying. And then, but then the other problem is that box. So, all right. So I'm just going to give you kind of a ballpark here because so a 3 valve is $1049, so $1,049. But those will all be warranted when we replace them. And we got to put them back because of where the piping is already for the yard. You know what I mean? So we'd have to put it back where it was. And then the stop and waste is $1,900. I know. I'm actually trying to find. Yeah. Yeah, because the hole needs to be, the hole needs to be big enough for a human to get in. And that box is too close. It's, there's, yeah, yeah. Yes, correct, correct. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, yeah, but hopefully everything's good. I'm hopeful, right? But I have no idea, and he doesn't either. But um, like I said, yeah, just check it in a few days and see how it looks, and you know, yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, if it depends on how soaked it was, so like, if there's high water, like if there's house, because we have some customers that are right by the lake, and when they turn their sprinklers on, the water just never goes down. So everybody thinks there's a broken pipe somewhere, because the water just doesn't drain because the lawn is already saturated, the soil, And that may be what's happening here in that little area, just because if the water was on all spring or something like that, you know what I mean? So it just needs to drain. It just needs some time to just go down and drain. So I don't know how long that should take, but that's what I'm hoping. That's what everybody's hoping is the problem. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he'll definitely check for big breaks and any leaks, but he won't be putting drips on every plant. That's not part of this adjustment, you know. But if there's any big breaks, that is covered. Anything spraying out too. Yeah. 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 But like I said, like we don't on these adjustments, we don't water every plant with drip, you know. Yeah, it just like if there's a break at the elbow, the brown tubing, or there's like a missing black spaghetti, that's what I call it, and then it's spraying out, like hitting a window or something, that would be covered, plugged in. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. Yep. All right. Okay. Yeah. No worries. Of course. Okay. Yep. Just keep an eye on it. Text me, call. Yeah, text or call, whatever you want in the future, but hopefully everything's good. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Matt, what's up, man? Happy Saturday. I was talking to a sprinkler customer. Um, yeah, believe it or not, I haven't done many stop and wastes this year. I've done, I don't know. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. I'm not guessing. I'm trying to remember. Four, maybe. Yeah, about four. Whereas last year, I feel like I was doing one every week, one a week. But we did blow out a ton of sprinklers. So like probably anybody that had any issues, we talked to them last year about it. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe because we shut them off, there's a lot less. Although this is a late one. I mean, it's already what, May 31st, and somebody just now is turning on their system. And then I just got a text from my mow guy, says, I finally got an easy first time mow. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a new one. We've replaced, I don't know, over the years, how many stop and wastes? A ton. But this is the first year where we actually had a valve box so close. Well, like, so I think it was last week. Last week we had to dig down for a stop and waste and replace it. And it was like 10 feet. It was so deep to where I thought my sprinkler guy was gonna quit. He's like, dude, this is insanity. I was like, man, just do the best you can. Take your time. You don't need to rush. He's like, dude, I don't know, man. This is taking forever. And I'm like, he's like, normally we have a scoop for this kind of job. And I go, well, you're the one that quoted the damn thing and you didn't give it, you didn't tell me, you know? He's like, yeah, but that's what they do, right? That's what workers do. They're like, even if they give you the quote, I've had sprinkler guys say, all right, this job's gonna take me 4 hours. And then I say, all right, cool. I quoted it to the customer with that in mind. And I say, go for it, man. You got it. In fact, I even budgeted enough so you can take 5 hours if you have to, in case something goes wrong. So like, cool. And then they get to it and they're like, how am I supposed to finish this job if there's bushes in the way? I'm like, dude, you told me the quote and you never mentioned bushes to me. Oh, dude, it's just hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they act like you did the quote, even though they did the quote. And so anyway, so last week he dug down and he started digging down and he realized, man, I have to dig the hole bigger. This thing is 10 feet deep. I got to dig the hole bigger. So we've got to take this valve box out and replace it. Because it's too close. Because we got to dig such a big freaking hole. And so I called the customer and I told him the situation. And he understood and he agreed. And I said, you know, the good news is we haven't cut any pipe yet, so I could literally bury everything back again right now, and you'll just be back where you started if you think it's too much, you know. He's like, no, you're already there, just do it. So I did it, and that was the first time we had to cut out a valve box while getting to stop and waste. And then I'm talking to this customer, and it's happened again. And he understands. This customer knows it's really close, and it has to be done. I don't get how some systems, people do some systems, and they don't pay attention to those things, you know? I mean, I understand why, you know? People are just trying to get things done. They don't think about what could go wrong in the future, you know? 10 years from now, they just worry about now, and then the future, some new homeowner has to deal with it, you know. Like, I've got my sprinklers at my house were done not good. They were not done good. Maybe they were okay for a time, but I got trees in the backyard that got so freaking big, and they're awesome. I love those trees. In fact, I probably need to have my tree guy come out again and trim them up for me. Again, they look so nice when the trunk is like bare all the way to the top. I mean, my trees are probably like, I don't know, 60 feet high. For this area, that's tall trees, but I live where the river bottoms are, so the soil does really good for trees. Anyway, guys, here we are. We just passed the hour mark. Any last questions before I head out of here? I'm actually not going anywhere, but I don't know if this is the most boring, you know, live I've done. You know, I hope not. I hope I kept you guys, you know, entertained in some way. Yeah, let me know what's going on real quick, guys. Any of my regulars on here? I see Matt. And guy, I don't know if you're still on, Matt, but you got your Lehigh store helped me out a lot this week. I'm quoting a big commercial job. For me, it's big, but it's probably the smallest commercial job a normal commercial installer would do. But it's perfect for me to get started with that. We never installed a full-on commercial section. So this would be 3 zones on a 4-inch pipe. And we'll be using the 604 Falcons with the Rainbird 2-inch valves. There's a lot of trenching involved with this one because we're tying into an existing system that's already in like a nice rock garden. So we're gonna have the landscape crew take out the rock, take out the weed fabric, take out the plants, excavate the pipe without damaging it all the way to where we need it. And it's going to be roughly, I'm just guessing, 30 feet maybe. And then once we're there, we got to trench that area for all the sprinklers and the valve boxes. So I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm pretty stoked. Normally when I do something new, you know, to be honest with you, anytime my company has done anything new, like a new service, I've never been a part of it. But this is the first one where I'm in charge of this new weird service, which is commercial installation with from on a 4-inch main line. Dude, that thing's freaking crazy. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. And we'll be doing that. Well, we haven't won the bid, but we're trying to win it. So there's a chance we're not going to get it, but I think we're going to get it. And if we do, I think we'll be doing it like in a week. I may need to tell her to push it out 2 weeks because I do have some jobs on next weekend. That is the weird thing with all these services we do and like the different divisions. Like we don't just go in and do everything with the same teams. They're different teams. So we have to coordinate that. And sometimes it can be really frustrating for everybody, you know, because sometimes we'll have like a big, you know, I don't know, $10,000, $20,000 job. And they need the sprinkler guys right there to fix something so we can charge the customer, you know, or to install something. They got to water this new section that they didn't realize was not going to be hit with the... Who's there? Don't take me.
You got something going on there?
Where?
No?
No, it's Mariano's.
Oh, cool.
He has to park there because there's cameras in the truck, and he can't have his company see where he's working here on the weekends.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dude, what are you up to?
I just come to dispatch some jobs and look at something. So.
The light?
What
I don't know. There was a light service call. Nobody told me about it. I thought I saw it.
Oh, it was one that I did yesterday. It was that lady said I put a light on.
Yeah.
A connection to something loose.
Did you fix it?
I fixed it yesterday, but she texted me last night that it turned on and turned off again. So I just want to rewire it.
So that's the one, right?
Maybe, yeah.
That sucks. Can we get it fixed?
So, yeah, I just want to rewire it and do a new connection.
Okay.
So there's something faulty with the connection that I currently has. So. What is we still do?
Do you need, yeah, John, he first got stuck on the freeway. And then he said he couldn't reach anybody. And then I said, all right, well, tell me where you are. You know, he was going to get it towed. But then he said, it's starting. I'm just going to drive it slowly. So he drove all the way here from there, 30 miles an hour. And he said he got every light, caught every light.
What happened?
That pressure thing came out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple more jobs dispatched for him already. And the bill there wasn't.
You can't have him driving all over the place, you know?
I know, but some of them are service calls.
I know, but if they're way out of the way, they're going to have to wait because, you know, he's in Spanish Fork now.
So, that's what I explained to him yesterday. The way they dispatch these routes, especially when it's something that's so far out of the area, I'll do it for a reason. Like, for example, yesterday.
Well, he never complains.
Well, no,
it's
I
me.
know.
But look, like, you put a job before where he's at. They're not even in order. You just put them on there.
Well,
You can't do that.
Well, one of them was Rachel, and the other one.
Well, whoever's doing it, they need to route it. Like,
Yeah.
be mindful. That's just rude.
I know, I'm gonna run right now.
Well, I could do it now. But it's like all he sees is the next one, you know?
So yesterday I told him that, for example, when I put the Spanish for one yesterday, it was because I was like, okay, by the end that he can do that one last, and then tomorrow he can only focus on Lehigh Highland, But he chose not to do that one yesterday, so I was like, okay.
I mean, and you know me, I want him to finish the
Yeah.
list, but if he says no, man, I was only planning on doing the 2, I'm not gonna get mad at him.
Of course.
You know,
I
it's
thought
like-
Rachel about the same thing to her, so we know that he might not be there today.
What's wrong with these people? You know,
Mhm.
all of them besides Jared Myers.
Nabil,
Yeah.
he wasn't happy with the way he's first time overlooked from yesterday.
Was that Jonathan?
Yeah.
Was it the one with the wet backyard? We told the customer.
But no, he had a really tall grass.
Yeah, I know. Well,
And Rich talked to him already. So we told him that we will try our best to get there today, just to do an extra mow. But since he was tall, there's always clippings left in the yard. Once it dries, it looks terrible. So yeah,
did you guys tell Johnny, or I'll just tell him now?
I text him already.
Hey man, we had to put a couple extra jobs on for you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, he did really good yesterday. $80.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Mariano's busy with where he's at,
Yeah, there's that.
and then Margarito, he's doing some stuff.
Sweet.
In order to add service to your business, in what order did you add business? Let's see. With anyway, Margarito, it's helped me as long as I tell the customers what's going on. Like it's working.
Nice.
Yeah.
But she takes a lot more.
Yeah, I gotta be here and watch,
Exactly.
but and that's not always.
Yeah.
You know, like some jobs are just straight up change the valve box and then he just does it. But with this one where they didn't know why it was leaking, I need to be there. So now he's doing an adjustment. Yeah. I'm also doing a live here.
Oh, cool. I'll get it on with them, bro.
Okay, man. Thanks,
See you
dude.
Monday.
Yep. See ya.
Yeah.
In what order did you add services to your business? So obviously we did mowing first. And I'm pretty sure we did gardening, like shrub pruning, second. It was like when I was just mowing, I hired an office girl who wanted to be an arborist, and that was Stacia. And about you early guys, she was one of the early workers. And I said, well, if I hire you to do some shrub pruning, would you answer the phone when there's no shrub jobs? And none of that kind of stuff. No garden work, will you answer the phone? And she said, yeah. And I said, and while you're answering, you could try and upsell shrub work, So she did that, and it was great. And that was the birth of the garden manager, right? And the garden services. I gotta keep my eye on this dispatch board. I'm gonna tell my brother. My brother's the mow guy today, and he's the man, dude. When my brother first started this year, he worked with me in the past and whatever. He was always good at his job. He was always good with the customers. He just likes to do it. So he does a great job. But he has he bugs me because he's my brother, he bugs me with other stuff, like he doesn't park the trucks where he should park them, right? It's so stupid for me to even care But because everybody else does what they're supposed to do, I get mad when he doesn't. So he does stuff like that. Sometimes he'll, you know what I mean? It's like for him, like any tools or equipment or vehicles at Lawn Thumbs is like he's free to use, you know, in his mind, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, dude, that's not how it is. That's not how it works. So that kind of thing bugs me. But then when he does such a good job mowing, I'm like, he can take the truck. It's all good. He can park it there. So I've talked to some of the managers about it. Well, they know this about me. Most workers, well, any good worker, I don't care what division it's in, if they're good and they're great at the task that we're charging customers to do, I usually go blind on the other stuff that they're bad at. You know, if a guy like is constantly I think calling off is the one thing that no matter how good you are, if you keep calling off, that does affect me because you can't do your list. If you can't do your list, you're not a good worker. That's the way I look at it. So let me see. I've got a new customer asking for first time mow, and I'm just gonna see where it's at. Man, I really should have tab up there. All right, so let's see. What's the name? Okay. Yeah, so if you're not a good worker, I can spot every flaw you have. No matter what it is, if you're a bad worker, I will find it. Pretty much because I am looking to get rid of you. So I'm looking for anything to write you up about and that kind of stuff. Footland Hills, Provo, where's he at now? I've got a new customer wanting service in Provo. And I think, well, he's in Spanish Fork. I can't put too much on him. We might as well try to do one more. Hey Siri. God, he hates answering the phone too when he's working, which is another quality of a great worker. Hey Siri, call Johnny. Let's see. And I hate bugging good workers too. Hey bro. Hey,
What's up, bro?
I got a new customer in Provo. You think I should throw it on?
Throw them on there. I'll get to all of them eventually.
You okay with working today?
Yeah, but I need an hour in between.
Okay.
But I'll get to all of them. I just looked at the list. It doesn't look like it's that long.
Okay, good. Just refresh it. I got one in Foothill Drive in Provo.
Okay.
I gotta add it right now.
Okay. Well, I'll get to it. I promised freaking Adrian. He's at the shop in Springville. I promised him I'd help him lift the engine out of there. So it's already ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah. He said half hour to an hour, so that's why I'm telling you an hour.
Okay.
Like, I'll get to all of them. If there's only 4 of them, I'll get to them.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
I'll get them all done before 5.
All right.
And
Thanks.
So when I clock out, I'll clock out and I'll clock back in, all right?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Bye.
Is it the first time mow?
Yes.
Are they? I didn't look at them, but are they all first time mows?
Let me see. I'm not on that tab anymore. Hold on. So the one you were supposed to go next in PG, it's a service call, and then the Highland one, it says first time mow, but I think it's a service call. I think somebody.
I got a text message saying that somebody wasn't happy.
Yeah,
about
that's
something I did.
yeah.
Which one is it?
It's the one that's the one on Royal Troon
Yeah, I don't
in
know.
Highland.
Okay.
It was
I wonder what I
Neville.
did.
Neville. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, anyway, and then another one is a first time mow.
Okay. All right.
Just remember, you got to get to the one in PG. You got to get to it before 4.
If there's only 4, I'll get to all of them. Bro.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
See ya. Bye. All right. So So I'm adding one on here, but I still got to ask the customer if they want us to do, like, if they're gonna sign up for mowing weekly. Like, I think we had a talk with the managers. Like, are we gonna do first time mows if we're not gonna sign these customers up? Okay, we can try to get to you today. Two questions. Okay. The price is 79 or 75. Damn it. Per hour. 79. And a $40 drive fee for this first time mow. Are you okay with that? And are you planning on mowing, having weekly service? If so, I'm gonna find out how much the price would be. So when I check the price of a mowing, I look at the measurement first, make sure that it's done right. It looks doesn't look right to me. I'm gonna remeasure. There's so many trees, man. So when there's a lot of trees, you got to measure basically the outline of the yard minus the house. Okay. All right. Actually, I'm going to do street view on this one because there's a corner and I'm not sure what the heck that is. Oh, of course, they've got the house blocked off. But I could see the side of the house. So I'm going to add that. All right. No way. Great. I'm going to have to remeasure. Okay. It shouldn't take me long to do this. So, do you guys measure like this, or how do you guys do it? So one thing we were thinking of doing, and I think we should, is measure the whole property no matter what. Instead of just, you know how you sometimes just try and outline the grass? We're considering measuring the whole property line. Just because, you know, there's trimming, blowing, so much work to do. If so, weekly would be, oh, I still don't know what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick estimate. Weekly mowing, $64.95. Let me know, and I can hurry and put it on the list for today. If they get a response very soon. All right, I sent it. 64.95. Save. I'm really hungry today. Come on, Service Autopilot, it's taking forever. All right, and then so mowing was first, garden maintenance I would say was second, fertilizing was third. I don't know if garden cleanup, the big garden jobs were kind of at the same time as the garden maintenance, where that was added later. I do know that at one point we used to always tell customers, Mark Clausen. Long Thumbs, this is Freddie. How can I help you? Hey. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So let's see. Point Meadows. Is this Mark? Okay. So, is there a way to send, I don't know, do you have the ability to like do an overview of the property and then maybe like a circle of where it's getting missed? Okay. 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 Yeah. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, based on what you told me, I wouldn't be any help. You know what I mean. I could try and add that in the notes, but I think some kind of picture. And I went looking for that map you said, but I don't see that. At least from an account that I'm looking at, I don't see that anywhere. I'm going to try looking another place, but things seem to be labeled, and it doesn't say map anywhere for me. So if you could either email it again, I think that would be the best for us. Hmm. Okay. Um. Hmm, okay. Okay. Um. Okay. I think sending the picture would be a good start, and then I'll talk to Jose. Maybe he can go out there the day they're mowing or even earlier, and take a look. And sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. 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 Yeah, and I will, and I'll try and also make sure they do it. I don't know why they're not. Even after being told, like that's to me sounds pretty crazy that they don't do it. Okay. Okay. If you'll just be patient with me, I'm gonna try to look into it too, and then figure out if we got to change something and mow it on a different day, just so it gets done. All gets done. I'll just look at all the different options. All right. Hmm. Okay. Do you- I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like different people did it recently. Um, yeah, we did have somebody break their arm, and that kind of threw everything for a little bit. I'm not saying that's what happened, but could have been. Um, so. All right. Well, thanks for letting me know, Mark. I will. At this point, I'll write an email to the team internally and just say, there's a section that's getting missed. Can we please address this? And it looks like, do you know what day? Thursday. So hopefully by Thursday we can figure this out for you. All right. Thanks, Mark. All right. Bye. Man, that's $165 cut, $169 cut every week, and there's a section that's being missed. What the hell? What the hell? It has been done by different people, so I don't fully blame anybody, I guess. I mean, it's been done by 1, 2, 3 different people, and then 4 if you count one of those did it again. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty freaking crazy. And it looks like Johnny missed the section. So I don't know what's going on. Why is it? This thing is huge. Why are they not mowing it? All right, well, it's a freaking park strip, a big ass park strip. I would think that's easy if I was a mow guy. I'd be like, yeah, I can do that park strip. All right, guys, here we are. I'm gonna read if there's any new ones. Nope, no new comments. I am gonna party ways. All right, guys. Peace out. Have fun. Nico, I think I answered you. Yeah. I feel like there was something more with that. The other service, yeah, there was other services that we added, like take out a yard, put a new one in. That was a crazy day when I found out the guys did that without me knowing. Obviously we've done Christmas lights, but I did that. So honestly, I did start a service. That was me, the Christmas lights, with our business, because nobody else really did that ever. Still, nobody does it but me, with a helper. And the other service, doing water features now. I think we're doing our first one this week. I've offered it this whole year, but I've done repairs. But we're actually going to install a fountain this week, I think. So I'll let you know how it goes. All right, guys. Talk to you later.